is actually starting tomorrow, then probably will be brief tomorrow onwards. Okay, tomorrow and Friday. All right. Okay, so I think everyone is all set. Let us just start this lecture. So this lecture about digital security. Let me see. Okay, yeah, I've recorded. Right. So we're gonna see few types of digital security and the preventive methods. Okay. So these are the 3 learning outcome. So first, we're gonna see what is digital security risk and types of malware. Then we're gonna see types of internet and network attacks and ways to safeguard these attacks. Okay, then we're going to see digital signatures and digital certificates. Okay, so therefore this will be the content. Okay, so does the content and the key terms are more or less the same, so I do not want to read one by one because we're going to see it later. Okay, so this is the mind map. Okay, so we have digital security. Okay, now digital security is actually the solution, yeah, prevention. Okay, due to what? Due to problems. Okay, so these are the problem. Okay, system failure, malware, and this is also a problem. Okay, few types of digital security risk. Okay, so actually this should be fall under this, yeah, but this one just to tell you what are we going covering. And digital signature is also, is actually part of the digital security, which is the solution. Okay, so we're gonna look at the first learning outcome, which is security risks and types of malware. Okay, now, so the words, yeah, simple, digital security risk. Okay, so if you just look at the word risk, okay, just a simple word risk. Okay, so risk means threat, yeah, potential to be harmed, right? So that is risk. Okay, if you talk about risk, general risk, there's nothing secure. Okay, like for example, what could be the risk to ourselves? Can you all tell me, yeah, the risk to yourself? What could be risk that you may face? That individual, especially you as a student, what risk you may feel? What risk you may encounter? Sorry, can anyone tell me? What risk you may encounter? You don't have any risk? Come on, class. What risk you may encounter? You yourself. You don't have any risk? No one is responding. What happened? Risk of going out at night. Thief. Oh, risk being threatened by thief. Yeah, or being marked by something. No, I'm just talking about general risk. Okay, that you yourself, yeah, might encounter. Personal information getting space scam, risk of acting lessons to get into big trouble, risk of not taking attendance. That's a good one. Yeah. So what I wanted to highlight here is that everything got risk. Okay. So security risk. That means, yeah, risk of not being secured. Okay. Risk of not taking attendance, I don't think that risk is actually security risk. Okay. Or maybe it's a security risk. Oh, risk of gambling, bankrupt. Okay. But security risk is something like what your friends say here. Yeah, going out at night, maybe you get mugged. Yeah, being robbed. Okay, so that is security risk. Okay, so now we are talking digital security risk. That means any part of the computer system, let it be a standalone PC or mobile device, any hardware or the software. Okay, when we talk about mobile device then or computer hardware, the software is of course inside the machine. Okay, so if is it that machine got hardware problems, so probably the software also may be affected. Okay, but the most important thing is the data. Okay, the data is something that data here can be a photo. Okay, can be your assignment, right? So the data here is the worst part that will be the worst case scenario, I would say. Okay, if is it having a risk of perhaps erase, so that is also considered as digital security risk. Okay, so risk, digital security risk is a risk of any computer system that by right it should be secure, but it has a potential of getting threat. Okay, and what will be the damage? Okay, so that's what it means. Now, if we talk about computer crime is actually the broad definition of a statement related to any online crime. Okay, sorry. Online crime is cyber crime. Okay, computer crime is something broader. Okay, so any illegal act that involve a computer related device. Okay, like for example, let's say if someone has external hard disk. Okay, so that external hard disk being stolen, right? So that is computer crime. Okay, or copying a copyrighted software to another device whereby the license is only one single user. So that is computer crime. Okay, so computer crime is broader. Okay, cybercrime is actually a sub of a computer crime. So cybercrime definitely got to do with connection to the online. Okay, so most likely it's going to be internet. Yeah, internet based, right? Okay, so let's say because of the internet, because of the online, the chances are much more as compared to the non-online. Non-online is only like stolen of the hardware. Okay, or copying data from a computer, a single computer using a thumb drive, perhaps, external drive. That is considered as computer crime, stealing data. Okay, cybercrime, like for example, a network attack. Okay, or spam emails. We're going to talk about that later, right? Okay, so because why? Because of the larger chances. Okay, the largest chances of that potential crime to be take place. Okay, now we go to the next one. Malware. Okay, so the word malware come from malicious software. Okay, now there are based on this slide, but of course there are more. There are three major types of malware. Okay, so payload is not a malware. Payload is actually to indicate what this malware could do. So this is actually the consequences if the malware is being executed. That means the malware is being delivered, right? So payload is actually an event when you open a file, that file it is infected by a malware, and is infected up to your whole hard disk. Okay, now these three things, virus, worm, and trojan, it has been used interchangeably. Okay, but in terms of academic, there are different definitions for these three malware. Right now, in fact, this one is actually very general. There are so many different types of virus, worms, and Trojan horse. Various. Okay, in fact, yeah, a malware can there is a research, yeah, I forgot where the research. There are thousands of malware being created in a day. Yeah, thousands, right? So those malware, either is virus, worm, or trojans. As I said just now, it has various. Okay, there is, I would say, less threatening up to very threatening. Okay, very threatening. The moment it's execute, everything shut down. Okay, not only shut down, everything is erased. That is the worst case scenario. Yeah. So there's a type of malware. It could be mild at the beginning, but after a while it has been copied and copied, and it can be very destructive. Okay, mild such as it just slow down your machine. Okay, some malware can be very funny. You cannot press some of the key, some of your characters in your keyboard, or even, yeah, when you press one character, it will appear double. So various type. All right. Okay. Now, so as I said, yeah, various type, and some of it are very mild, some of it very destructive. Now, can you all tell me, yeah, the difference between virus, worm, and trojan? How different they are? Okay. How different worm, trojan horse, and virus? Can anyone try to answer? No one want to try. Virus can spread. Worms duplicate. Okay, very cute. Anybody else want to try? Hmm. They were similar, just different function for payload. Trojan. Okay. Now, okay. Virus, all these can be damaging, right? Okay. Now, virus, it has to be executed by human. And when I say execute, mean human has to click on the icon. Let's say the virus is actually looks like an icon, yeah, or the file, the virus is inside the file, and human open the file, okay, or human press the insert file. Okay, so meaning to say that virus has to be executed by human. Okay, right? And then worms doesn't have human to make it executed. Okay, so sounds like worm is smarter. All right. Trojan horse look like a real program, but it is not. Yeah. So once it is executed, then it show it through color. Okay. So only worms can can copy itself. Okay. So it can copy itself into many different files. If is it able to insert itself in the email, it can sort of email itself, right? And then it can copy itself to all the contacts in the email. Okay, so worm is fast, right? Virus doesn't have that characteristic. So does the Trojan horse. Okay, but I don't say virus is not, I would say, very destructive. Yeah, there are type of virus that destructive. Okay, some authors say that worm is actually a subset of virus, yeah, which is I don't really agree, because virus, it doesn't able to copy itself, yeah. How come, yeah, worm is actually part of virus? Because viral, yeah, cannot copy itself. It has to have human to copy it, whether the human intention or maybe not intention, not knowing. Okay, so virus has to be inserted by human, has to be copied by human, has to have the icon pressed by human. Worm does not. Yeah, but nevertheless, each one of these can able to shut down the computer. Trojan horse, okay, come from the myth Troy. Yeah, something like this. Okay, a myth, which is, I think, is in the Roman Empire, whereby, okay, there are two different groups, two enemy fighting for each other. One enemy is inside this fortress, inside this barricade. Both are equally strong, and another enemy is actually try to conquer this fort, or this city. Okay, but the enemy doesn't able to go inside because, yeah, it has a barricade, and the soldiers are all strong. Okay, so now the enemy has an idea. Why not we give them something very nice that they are very tempted to accept it. Okay, and we're going to trick them, okay, as if like they think that we surrender, and they think that the gift is actually um the gift is actually as an appreciation that they are winning. Okay, so what happened, they made a wooden horse, and they put a very good soldier inside this wooden horse. Okay, and the enemy doesn't know. So one day they just saw that, oh, there's a wooden horse, and it looks like real a gift. It looks like very, very valid and too good to let it go. Okay, so they brought the horse inside the barricade. So what happened? At night, the soldier came out and conquered. All right. So this is the myth, right? So that is where the malware got the name Trojan horse. Look like a legitimate program, okay, but it eventually is something that can be destructive or even disruptive, right? Okay, so I'm gonna skip this one. Okay, now, okay, so all those are malware. Okay, some of this is also malware. Yeah, all these are malware actually, yeah, but it can be actually make it worse via the internet and network attack. All right, okay. Now, what is adware? Adware comes from the word advertising. Okay, now adware is actually something like this, right? I'm sure you have seen it quite often, especially if you're using mobile, right? Because mobile sometimes is too small that you cannot expand your screen, then you are kind of forced, yeah, to click on the pop-ups. All right, now even for the adware, there are various type of adware. Okay, now some adware, it doesn't really cause harm. It's just annoying. Yeah, annoying because it keep on popping, and sometimes when you click the close, it's not closing. Yeah, it will direct to something else. So it's really annoying. Okay, and when that happen, also, it it sort of take the computer resources, yeah, the user resources. It takes up the memory, it takes up the processor as well to process. So it's just annoying. Okay, and some of the adware is kind of I would say require high bandwidth. Yeah, use a lot of utility on the machine, and it's just using resources. It's just annoying. But there are types of adware which is probably combined with spyware. Okay, it's spying what the user machine. Yeah, it's spy the user machine. What are the user machines are having? Yeah, the specification, the data, And what worse, whatever the user browse, whatever the user click on the keyboards, whatever the user interaction. Okay, so that is the worst scenario. For example, when the user types the banking facility such as username and password, the malware able to log whatever the user type. That's the worst case scenario. Okay. Now, so what is rootkit? Okay, rootkit is also dangerous. Okay, and there are few types of rootkit. Okay, now if we look at the name itself, it say root. Okay, that means it's really into a root of a system. Okay, now so when rootkit is accidentally perhaps installed by few techniques, it can be with combination of other malware, it can really take a full control of that machine. Okay, and it can be remotely controlled by the attacker from another device, from another area. Yeah, because when it take out, when a rootkit can actually go really looks like it's the owner that has all the is all the owner accessibility. Yeah, because it really go down inside the operating system. It really able to be controlled by another person as if like another person really own the whole computer. That's what it called rootkit. Yeah. So it may also bypass all the security that the machine has. Okay, such as antivirus. Yes, yeah, it can take BIOS and kernel as well. Okay, some type of rootkit. Okay, you really take control of her as the system administrator. All right. Okay. So I've already explained ransomware. Okay, so ransomware also okay, it can be having a certain attack. Yeah, it can have a combination of all these. Normally, a professional attacker. I'm not asking you to be a professional attackers, but I'm just saying, a professional is actually an illegal job. Okay, but professional attacker um, can use all of this combination, because they know that only one combination, one method doesn't work. Okay, so ransomware will freeze computer system from working as normal unless the user pay a specific amount of ransom. Okay, right? Yeah, so let's continue. Okay, now, so this one is more into the network attack itself, right? So before that, zombie. Okay, I'm not saying zombie PC, just the word zombie. Okay, now does zombie know? I'm sure you have seen a lot of zombie movie, right? Does zombie know that they become zombie? Do you think zombie know that they become zombie? Yes? No? No. Okay. All right. Do you think zombie want to be zombie? No. Okay. Huh? Oh, you think zombie no? They become zombie, is it? Is anybody else agree with that? Do you think zombie know that they become zombie? Okay. I don't think zombie know they become zombie, yeah. Okay. All right. So what is zombie PC? Zombie PC, that's why they use the word zombie PC. Okay, zombie PC, they do not know that they have become zombie. Okay, botnet is a group of zombie PC. Okay, so let me just enlarge this one. Okay, so we have, um, oh, I don't have the image. Okay, I have better image. Oh, yeah, there you go, here. Right, I think here. Okay, so this is zombie. Yeah, each of this PC is zombie PC. The whole group we call it botnet. Okay, now this is the attacker. Attacker, when they want to attack a machine, a server that hosts normally, for example, internet banking, they don't actually use themselves. They will use zombie. They will infect zombie. So zombie just take the order and attack this one. And they don't realize that they are being used. Okay, right? So this is zombie PC, and this attack is known as denial of service attack. Okay, is attacking a server that's supposed to serve clients, supposed to serve user who request. So what happened? Okay, the server, when it receive request, it's going to serve the request. Yeah, because that is the characteristic of a server. Okay, but server has its own capacity. Okay, server also even though it's a machine, not a human, it has a capacity. It keep on receive request non-stop until it is unable to work anymore. So this is what we call DOS attack. All right. Okay. So this is DOS attack. So I've explained. Okay. Botnet, I've explained zombie, and I've also explained DOS attack. Yeah, denial of service attack. Okay, so what is DDoS? DDoS is distributed denial of service attack. So meaning to say that for DDoS is a group of server and normally in the same company. Okay, so these are the zombie PC. So you can see here, they use many different types of attack, and so even the other servers also, the backup server also will be exhausted. Okay, so when that happened, so probably the next move by the attacker is actually to reroute the request to a bogus server owned by the attacker. All right. Okay, so what is backdoor? Okay, so backdoor is actually a computer program. Okay, now backdoor, if physics use correctly, it is actually not wrong. Okay, so backdoor is actually a program that can bypass a certain security, such as what? So what will be the security? Okay, actually username and password is a security, is a prevention, so that the access are limited. Okay, based on the role of person with the username and password. Okay, so what will be the other security? Okay, perhaps some biometric. Okay, or perhaps biometric, biometric like fingerprint or eye scan, iris scan. Okay, or perhaps some other what do you call that, prevention, maybe tag number or a certain identification. Okay, so it bypass that. Okay, now why you need to have that program? When I say that it can be used for a good purpose. Okay, now imagine, let's say a group of computer programmer, they want to develop a new program. Okay, now so in order for them to develop fast, okay, so maybe they do not set the security criteria, because they are need to work around the clock, and sorry, not around the clock, they have their time frame. Okay, so what happened, they might actually forgot to remove the backdoor accessibility. Okay, or sometimes a certain computer, certain hardware devices, right, certain network devices, it actually have a default username and password. Okay, that can be considered as backdoor as well, because it somehow bypass a proper security controls, whereby you need to change the username and password. Okay, so backdoor is basically a program or set of instruction. Set of instruction is actually change your password immediately after you do this first installation. Okay, but it somehow forgot to not forgot, maybe take matters light. Okay, so that is backdoor. So now let's move on. Okay, so I've kind of already explained to you what is DOS attack. Okay, I've also explained zombie. All right, and it actually will influx messages, so that the zombie going to attack the server, and the server also until exhausted. Okay, so there are so many cases of DOS attack previously. Okay, such as there have been multiple computer attacks on multiple computer network on all these website. Even famous website, prominent website, they are actually more prone to DOS attack or any kind of attack or DDoS attack. Okay, now what is CERT-CC? Okay, so this is actually an organization based in United States, and they are actually a research organization, joint venture with a university in the United States, a very prominent university in the United States, with also contribution of knowledge from many famous websites, such as Amazon, or as well as a few from hardware provider. Okay, so what they do, they will try to educate people about issues on computer cyber attack. Okay, so they will also record those. Okay, and they will also make some sort of news and announcement to the legitimate party to make it aware. For example, to a government agency, to news broadcasts, right? So that's why sometimes we get the news, right? Because there is a response team to alert the most dominant attack. All right, okay, most destructive attack. All right, so this one I just want to go very quickly, full of reading here. Okay, so this one is just to show flow of how virus can attack. Okay, so virus is actually being created by a computer program. A virus is actually a computer program. Okay, and there are few type of virus that works differently or having a different characteristic. Okay, so there is a virus can hide inside a Microsoft Word document. Okay, then attached to an email. Okay, so user will send the email, and the other user will actually open the attachment, whereby the attachment is actually infected by the virus. Okay, so user who do not recognize the name of the sender message do not open the email message. Instead, delete it. So this is one way to prevent. Okay, can we prevent 100%? No, there is no guarantee. All right, so now let's move on. Okay, there is a type of virus. There are so many viruses out there. So, but we just want to introduce you macrovirus. Okay, now what is macrovirus? Macrovirus normally is inside Microsoft Office document. Okay, now let me show you one example. So this one example is actually from Microsoft Word. Now, so this is screenshot. Have any one of you encountered something like this when you receive email with a Word document, or you download a Word document, or whatever you get the Word document from, and you see this security warning, macros have been disabled, and it asks you whether you want it to enable. Have you accounted this, anyone? No one has seen. Mhm. Okay, you just enable. That means you have seen one. No. Oh, most no. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, what is macrovirus? But before what is macrovirus, okay, let me tell you what will happen if press enable content. Okay. All right. So now I'll tell you. Okay. Now, what is macro first? Okay. This is Microsoft Word. Yeah, you recognize this is Microsoft Word. Macro is actually a command button. Okay, now in Microsoft Word, you will see a lot of buttons. Each of these buttons are computer program. Do you know that you can customize your own button in Microsoft Word or in Microsoft PowerPoint or Excel or whatnot? Do you know that you can customize that button? Anyone know? Actually, Microsoft Word can do a lot of things that a lot of people don't realize. Okay, now for example, let's say, why you probably say why you want to customize something. Okay, now for example, let's say, someone with a job requirement every day, he or she has to always open one file, yeah, one Word file, and then one Word file actually got thousands of pages. And that person will always have to go to page number 500. Okay, and then on that page number 500, there's a table, and always have to go to row number 20. Let's say there are 30 row, but always have to go to row number 20. Isn't it repetitive? Every day have to open, and then always have to do that every 10 minutes, every 10 minutes. So it's a very repetitive, right? Okay, so what can be done? You can create a button whereby you click that button, it will go to that page 500, and it will go directly to that cell or row. Okay, so that is a customized button. Okay, so it's actually very user friendly to create that customized button. So what happened? There's a codes. All right. Okay, this is what we call macro code. Right. So some I would say again, professional um, virus developer, virus programmer, some professional virus programmer able to insert a virus code inside this. Okay, so that's why we call it macro virus. Okay, so it's hiding inside the command button. All right. Okay, so that's why you will get this message if you download something that has that macros. Okay, so it say macros has been disabled. That means that it doesn't allow you to enable it unless you trust the source. Okay, you trust the source, or you have done proper scanning and you have a very reliable antivirus. Okay, so if you open it, your choice now. If you open it, enable the content, the risk is yours. Okay, now, so, all right, so that's why it's enabled. So this one can be set. Okay, so you can go to the Microsoft Words, you can go to the Trust Center, you can set your macro setting. You want to enable all macros, which is not recommended. By default, it will be disable all macros with notification. Okay, so this is actually whether you have to decide later with this one, okay, whether you trust the source or not. Okay, now, so then we move on. Okay, so yeah, so protection is what I mentioned just now, right? Better the default one, which is enable the macro with security warning. Okay, so that's what I explained just now, which is instruction. Okay, so now let's move on. What is antivirus? Okay, I'm sure you all know what are all those antivirus. Okay, so antivirus can protect against not only virus but worms and Trojan horse. Okay, so there are many antivirus out there. Okay, now, what is virus signature, virus definition, virus code, virus code and virus pattern. Okay, in our syllabus, sounds like more or less the same. Okay, but they're actually slightly different. Okay, now, okay, virus definition, normally, okay, it's essentially all of this is actually used in antivirus, yeah. So virus definition meaning to say the virus name. When was it created? Okay, when was it first report? Okay, created, maybe they cannot find. Yeah, sometimes yeah, they will find when is it created. Okay, sometimes in the program itself, it knows when the virus created. Okay, if is it a weak virus. Okay, so virus definition, the name of the virus, when is it first reported, and some other details. Like for example, the severity of the virus, basically the definition of the virus, information about the virus. Yeah, for example, even how long the virus, yeah, in terms of the computer program. Okay, now virus signature. Okay, so virus code, of course, yeah, virus code is actually the codes of the virus, because virus is actually computer program. Okay, now, for example, I just show you example of virus code. Okay, now, so this is a computer program. It's a code, yeah, it's a computer code. Okay, now, computer program, any computer program, yeah, is very, when developer, when programmer program the computer program, is very much human readable. Because human has to read, yeah. Like for example, for I in range, I'm sure you already like study Python, yeah, very much human readable. Okay, machine do not read this. Machine has to read. All this has to be translated into a machine language. Okay, so machine only read either binary or assembly. Okay, something like this. Right? Okay, so antivirus will, will actually acknowledge what type of virus by looking at this conversion. So this is known as virus pattern or virus signature. Okay, and of course, yeah, it has a certain identification as well. All right. Okay. So when you do scanning with antivirus, okay, the antivirus will read, yeah, the files that it scan and match with its database whether it match with this pattern or not. Okay, so this is just part of the patterns. Yeah. Okay. Now let's continue. So how antivirus work? Okay. Okay. So if that's why if there is a new virus which is not yet updated into the if there is new virus, yeah, if it's not yet updated into the antivirus, the antivirus software not able to detect that. Yeah, so the antivirus software is only using known virus because it read when it know that virus, it able to get the codes of the virus and it able to see um the machine language of the virus, yeah, the pattern. Okay, then only it mesh the files that it scan. Okay, so uses information to detect if the virus has tampered with any file. So the information is this one, right? Okay, so it will records information about the file such as file size and file creation. Try to match. Okay, so if is it match, it will try to remove. If it's not able to remove, it will quarantine. Okay, put in the separate hard disk. But eventually, yeah, eventually, even if it's quarantine, I don't think the machine will be safe. Okay, so if the virus cannot be removed, what is the best? What is the best process? The next step. What do you think? If a antivirus detect, okay, your machine or anyone's machine, of course, I do not want your machine to have virus. What is the best way to solve the problem? If it cannot remove, it cannot remove the virus. So what is the best way? Yes, fully reset, factory reset. Yeah. Uh, uh, what do you call that? Yeah. Reinstall your Windows. Mm. All right. What to do? That's why you need to have backup. Okay. Because the worst case is actually when you lose your data. All right. So all these are preventive measure. Okay. Never start a computer with a removable media. Meaning to say that you have external hard disk. Okay. Because when you start your machine, the behavior of your operating system, the behavior of your machine, okay, when you press start, it will try to find the operating system. Where is your operating system? Okay, so if you have your removable media, so your machine thinks that your OS is inside that media. Okay, whereby the media could be having virus. Okay, so remember just now I mentioned about the micro security. So this is the one. Install antivirus and don't just install but not use it. Okay, so by right, yeah, you install the antivirus and always use it. And by right, yeah, even after you never open email attachment until you trusted the source. Even, yeah, when you want to open something after you download, you better scan it with antivirus, then only open, right? So this is similar to what I mentioned just now. If the antivirus program flags an email attachment as infected, then why you want to save it, right? Okay, so this is, yeah, by right a good practice. As I said just now, whatever you download, even from trustable source, better. I even, yeah, if I were to download something, okay, even though I know it's actually run on uh, Microsoft server, okay, but it's just a habit that before I open, I will scan it. Okay, all right. Yeah, because whatever that is on the server by right, yeah, like for example APU server, okay, we have to make sure that it's clear. Okay, but still, yeah, still should be a good practice. Before you open, you just scan. Okay, now install a personal firewall program. Firewall is actually not really for to protect from virus. Yeah, firewall is actually to block, to filter, yeah, to filter a certain request from an IP that the user prohibit. Okay, but perhaps that one also can help in case that IP address is known for sending malware. Okay, now I don't really like to use hard disk drive, not mine, connected to my machine. Okay, because we do not know who hard drive are those and what they have in their hard drive, external hard drive. Yeah, I'm referring to anything that are not internal. Okay, all right. Okay, now system failure. So what is system failure? System failure is basically system fail to do what it is supposed to do. Okay, it can cause by many reasons. Yeah, such as aging hardware. Okay, not only on the typical user device, but also on a server, computer server. Okay, I'm sure you understand the concept of hardware. After a while, is going to be aging. Yeah, even our device. Yeah, after a while, it will be tear and wear. Okay, you just imagine on the server side, same thing. Okay, server normally can handle something more robust. Yeah, it can be up to 10 years, 20 years. Okay, but still, nothing can be permanent. All right, so it can be because of harsh weather, it can be because of oxidation, it can be rusted, it can be because of dust. Okay, so uh, or rusted. Okay, or even some it may drop. Yeah, you just drop, accidentally drop. Okay, so probably in a while it's still okay, but after a while the problem accumulates. Okay, now yeah, okay, so something can go wrong somewhere, right? So natural disaster, common. Okay, so natural disaster is God made. Okay, it can be thunder, which is can call sudden surge. Okay, or it can be flood. Yeah, and whatever other natural disaster. Okay, it can be a thunder as well. Okay, so it can be a thunder, storm, thunder. Okay, not yeah, storm also can be, but I think for electrical power disturbances, it can be a thunder whereby it can cause system to be dysfunctional. All right, or even the cabling itself got rusted somewhere. Okay, so all these can cause system failure, probably not so drastically but gradually. Okay, so what is noise? Okay, noise is, okay, this noise is not the noise something like voice or something like in morning market. No. Okay, this noise is actually a term for unwanted electrical signal. Okay, so actually every electrical components, even lights, yeah, the electricity light, it does emit low, I would say, I forgot that term, but it's something related to radiation. Okay, if I say radiation, that probably it will be too much, right? Yeah. So emission, it just called something like emission. So that also can we call noise. Yeah, some unwanted electrical signal. Okay, now the old type of handphones, a very very long time ago. Okay, that handphone, if you put near to your machine, your computer, you can feel that if is it receive some unwanted electrical signal. Yeah, it some sort of, it give some tremble. So that we call noise, right? Now, what is under voltage? Under voltage is drop in electrical supply. Okay, it can be because of wiring problem. or some faulty devices for the wiring. Okay, wiring or the power line. Okay, over voltage, of course, yeah, it can be because of the lightning, okay, or even thunder. All right, so it's a sudden increase in the electrical power. Okay, so these are all issues, yeah, failure. Now, so what is surge protector? I think some of you, yeah, um, your um, your power extension, your power extension probably you buy something with surge protector. Okay, so the purpose of surge protector, you will try to balance the power if there is a sudden increase in power, maybe because of the thunder or lightning. Okay, so it will protect your machine. Okay, so now what is UPS? UPS is something like a battery. Okay, it provides power if there is a sudden power loss. In terms of UPS, there's also a few category of UPS. Some small size UPS, not small capacity UPS, it only give power probably up to 50 minutes, 20 minutes. It's just enough to save whatever current work. But some UPS can go up to few hours. All right. Okay. So let's continue. Okay. Now, so we go to the last learning outcome, which is digital signatures and digital certificate. Okay. Now, do you need a 5 minutes break or you can go on? Okay, 5 minutes break. Okay, we come back at 4:50.